Yes, absolutely. I'm finding that even, from the baggage handler to the ramp agent, to the check-in staff, to the dispatcher, to the flight controller, everyone wants to be there. It's not just a job for us. We love it. You have tough days, but the better days, the minute you take off, you see that aircraft go, you see the clouds. It just does something to your psyche. We love going to work. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, I think it must be something magical about flying. The whole association.
Yeah.
That's why you say even the baggage handlers because when you get at the airport, automatically it's that excitement, even for passengers. This idea I'm flying. Yeah.
And there's a famous saying that we used to say in SAA, and because the guys always used to say it in America, and you'd land on this, you can barely see, and there's snow everywhere into New York, and the guy goes, "Good job, Springbok." And, you would sit there and it would make you really proud, that we could land in this, and everyone else is going around, and none of these guys. So, I think we definitely were, and I think we still are.
The bottom line is that, I said to the guys as well, if ever I cannot learn from somebody something, I take my wings, I hang them up, go sit at the stoop and have a beer and look at the sunset. Okay. Because even the young people as well, they got something that they can give to you as a guy with 22,000 hours. They have. And I've proven it so many times. And it's just the bottom line is that it's a learning curve that you're going to have the rest of your life. Doesn't matter what you fly and how you fly and how long you've been flying. That is the important part of it as well.
Yeah.
And with the students, we normally, as a captain, we carry 4 bars.
Yeah.
The co-pilot carries 3 bars. So sometimes what happens, I allow them when I instruct or when government flies, and I said to him, no, that's not the way to do it. Let's do it this way around. Let me show you. Oh, Captain, I didn't know that. I said to him, count the bars. Those 4 bars didn't get there for nothing. So every time I help somebody there, they know already. I said, okay, Captain, I counted the bars already. I counted the bars.
For me as a child, the spark was travel, see new things, but also the machinery, the beauty of that machine and the engines and the operations and the cockpit and the switches and the lights. If those things don't inspire you, then it's a very hard career to get into because it's a lot of work. It costs a lot of money. It takes a long time to get into an airline. And once you're there, it's hard work. It's hard in the family. You're going to do every 6 months for the rest of your life. You're going to do an exam and an interview and a quiz and a check ride to see if you're good enough to keep your current job for the rest of your life. There's not many jobs out there that are like that. And if you don't have the passion, you're not going to sustain it. It's just, you're going to be working through the night when everyone else is sleeping. You're going to be looking down on the beautiful sights of the world and seeing at 3 a.m, all those city lights, and everyone's asleep in bed, cozy, and you're at work. It's not enough to sustain you. So the passion has to be there because there's a lot of hard work and it takes a long time.
Fortunately, I'm getting to the point now where I'm understanding that I really want to help people with that, as I said, the human skills in aviation, or some people refer to it as the soft skills. That's my passion. If I can help one young pilot learn to make a decision that one day not only saves his life, but saves the lives of, say, 300 people behind him on an aeroplane, happy days, If you look at that Sully movie with Tom Hanks, the one that they landed on the Hudson.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So if you watch that movie, when he's learning to fly, I think his instructor, just tells him, stick and rudder and enjoy yourself and always fly the aeroplane. Never stop flying the plane. And that's exactly what Sully did until he landed on the Hudson. He carried on flying that aeroplane. So there's a great instructor who passed on a little bit of advice one afternoon and saved the life of, I don't know how many people it was, over 100 and something people.
Yeah.
We are now very happily established in Cape Town. And that's where I managed to do the final couple of qualifications to become a commercial pilot. I had to pass one more exam, and pass and get what they call a complex rating, which means you're flying a slightly more complicated aircraft than the one that I was flying. And then went for the test. And, there's that kind of feeling of, I don't know, almost when you're coming into the presence of God type of thing, when, you have that feeling of, how can I describe it? It's like you get a goose flesh when you've just landed that plane and you've just realized that you've achieved something that's taken the better part of 20 years to achieve.
Amazing.
So I kind of get a bit tearful when I talk about it. But and when I talk to people when I told them what I'd done, one of my friends phoned me and she was crying. She said, "I can't believe it." And she said, "Brad, I got a lump in my throat and I burst into tears when you told me." So
amazing. Yeah.
So that is the summary of my story.
This is really for me so interesting about your careers, how extremely dedicated you are to be able to pursue this career without the constant gratification. It's a long time, it's a long periods of time, like you say, that you have to just stuck it out until you get the next part, until you get a promotion or get to the next level. So I think it's very interesting how you persevere in this industry.
And at the end of the day, when you have a commercial license and you have, let's say, 500 hours, and the other guy that's, can I say, competing with you for this new job has also a commercial pilot license, and he also has 500 hours. So at the end of the day, everybody is quite equal. So you need to be a bit better than the other guy in some way. And that's also very difficult because flying is flying. And that's why you need to be dedicated to make sure that you are excellent in what you do. You need to make sure that you know all the ins and the outs of flying. It's not, you don't get experience just when you fly. You need to do some homework behind the scenes as well. You need to have yourself current all the time so that you don't miss out on anything or forget anything or something like that. So you must make sure that you are on top of your game. And I think that's one of the biggest motivational things within aviation as well. Just that keep on going the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to have experienced crew, and unfortunately, you can't microwave the experience. And you can train guys to a high standard, but you can only see so much in 1 hour.
Yeah.
And every hour that you're flying, and the more diverse people and environments you're exposed to, the more you learn. And also, we waited a long time for command. But that was a good thing because you learned all the different styles of command that you saw from the other guys, and you learned how you did and you didn't want to be. And it also is excellent tools for you one day when you do get command to manage your airplane in a professional manner, in a safe manner.
The thing is, as soon as one door closes, another one opens. That's how life works. So there's new airlines opening up in South Africa. There's 2 more new airlines. We're all waiting and seeing, are they going to open or not? But so there's still a growth, and there's still going to be a demand of pilots. And I know that some of these pilots, which you mentioned, they are just have enough of the country's problems. So they've got really a lot of personal, issues about the country and the things that's happening. And yes, there's a lot of more work in America, in Europe. Yes, there's absolutely a lot more work. Yes, I agree. But I recently did a tour for my company in Sudan, and I was there for 6 weeks. And in that 6 weeks, I just realized what an amazing country we have, South Africa now. Okay, so And as I came back, I appreciate more what I'm seeing. I'm still appreciating our country, and I still, love the people, and it's so different. So I'm very positive. So I'm the positive guy. So I'm the positive guy who's going to stay, and I'm going to make it work in the country, and I'm going to contribute tax, and tax is hopefully going to help the country if they don't, misuse it. But so yeah, it all depends on who you're going to look and who you're going to talk to. Everyone's perspective is different.
The trick comes in is that the competition is made up, if the weather allows and time allows, that you fly that sequence, which we call the free known, and then you have 3 unknown sequences that you've never seen before in your life, and you're not allowed to practice them. So that, for me, is where the aeroplane and individual harmony needs to come into its own, where you can, it doesn't matter what happens, you're so at one with the plane, you're able to do literally whatever they can throw at you within the rule book, obviously. But so for me, that's obviously where the elements start making the shapes not look like what they want to do, because on the ground it's 5 knots, but at 300 or 400 or 1,000 foot, it might be blowing 30 knots the opposite direction. So these are all things you've got to take into consideration, and there's actually really no way of feeling or seeing it unless you watch somebody else fly, or you literally feel it when you're in the plane. So yeah, it is pretty challenging in certain respects, but every sport has its tasks, and you got to cope, as they say.
Yeah. And now, how is it about with the fundraising? Is it easy
it's
to
battling. It's battling. Yeah, it's difficult at the times. The economies, as they are, but we've still got people that are very keen. And the youngsters, we've got a lot of youngsters that come in and work polishing aeroplanes, cleaning the museum aeroplanes, washing out the hangars.
Really?
Every Saturday, yeah.
Oh, this is amazing. Yeah.
The enthusiasm is there. And once you get a project like the Spitfire going, for instance, when I rebuilt the Mustang, well, not me, my team, when I was commander of the Air Force Museum, we used to work on Saturdays and Sundays as well, where our wives came in. The girls and the kids we had a paint stripper, they were paint stripping parts, cleaning them, hanging them up. Come lunchtime, the girls were making a barbecue for us. Well, so it was a whole family affair at one stage. At the moment, it's difficult with modern times and stuff on bases to get in and do that.
Yeah.
But we had a whole family, all our families, ground crew and air crew.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's then like a real big family that you have.
Yes.
Well, I'm very grateful to be in SAAF, and I'm going to hopefully get my command upgrade very soon, within the next 5 years, with the SAAF expanding. Hopefully that might be even sooner. With my MBA that I've just recently graduated in December, I'd really like to get involved with some projects in SAAF, so that I don't let that degree, I'd like to get it working, in operations and project management. With all the new routes that they are going to expand with, I can at least then start looking at that. And I'd love to just get involved in management. There aren't a lot of women in management roles in airlines itself. So it would be nice to get involved in management, get involved in, still fly, but use both skills in the airline, and stay in South Africa. I really hope that I can just stay here and enjoy being in South Africa and flying for South African airline, for SAAF.
Yeah, it's a wonderful privilege to be able to be there and have a job that you enjoy, and not have to go to outside, like you say. Some people were kind of forced to leave.
Yes.
But,
because especially for us, if there aren't a lot of pilot roles, like there are only a certain amount of airlines in South Africa. So if the jobs are full, they're full. So you as a pilot, you have no other option to then look abroad, look regional, look at international, to try and keep a license going and fly. And then you just commute up and down.
That's a good question, Peter. I'd like to have the contract goes on as far as I possibly can, keep our medical up. That would be very nice. That's the first choice. And then secondly, I probably would get into a point where I've got to slow down a bit there, in the sense is that my wife and myself would like to take the caravan and go tour the country again. And just have a laid-back life and look at the up in the skies and
See
wish
how
I was
other
there.
people fly.
See how the other guys are flying. And so I think it's just to have a bit of a laid-back life.
That's a great question. I have always been one of those who likes to control my life. You know, my life needs to be in control. But what I've realized is I'm starting to let life flow. In other words, things will happen when they're meant to happen. And the more you try and push something, the more you're pushing it away, rather than letting it come to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So right now, I just, I'm going to get my instructor rating, hopefully by the end of the month, if not the beginning of next month. I'm going to start running these CRM courses for instructors, because I believe our instructors are the ones who are going to pass on the information to the base of aviation, your PPL students and that. And if they have a solid grounding in the human skills and the human factors side of aviation, then possibly that'll help them instruct in a different way. Possibly it will help them inspire the next generation who will, as one thing leads to another, inspire the next generation. So my wishes right now is just to give of my best, and I suppose give of my best back to the industry. I'm very fortunate in the people who've helped me, and now it's time to pay it forward as such. That's how I look at it. Yeah.
Well, number one is that people worldwide get together, and that a lot of that is what we managed to do with the museums. When I worked with the British RAF, Royal Air Force Museum in Hendon and the Dubendorf in Switzerland and in America, the various museums in the States, the guys came and visited here, we visited there, and we exchanged parts quietly. And I've had friends with shipping companies, and so I'll pop it on a ship at Houston for me, and I'd pop something on a ship in Cape Town to send over there. The politicians can sort themselves out. That's the problem. But we work together and we help each other. And actually, we never had a hassle with any of those problems. So luckily, that worked.
Yeah.
And I think, if you think how we worked with guys that were supposed to be anti-us or we anti-them or whatever, they can't believe it, It's quite amazing.
Mm.
I mean, my ideal world would be have a corporate job, commuting, and coming back to South Africa, because I love South Africa. I still want to be here. So that would be my ideal wish. Work in Europe, live in Africa, enjoy the sun and the waves.
Oh, yeah. And all your activities in the sea.
You need to be willing to do anything that anybody doesn't want to do. You really need to go the extra mile. You really need to do extra in every sense. And also just keep going. Everybody will tell you, just keep on trying, keep on applying, keep on flying. Somewhere something will happen. You just don't stop. That's the biggest thing.
But now, Alex, you said you didn't know what was going to happen in the next 10 years or so, but what is the wish for you?
I don't really know, but what I do know is that I need to strap in because it's about to get real, because I just have a sense of positivity and opportunity. And one thing that really has gone well for me in the last couple of years is seeing opportunities out there. We all see it all the time. Seeing it's the one thing, recognizing that it is an opportunity and then acting on it. And that goes back to the beginning. Well, just act and figure it out as you go. Sometimes we get lost in all the details of everything. And actually we need to not overthink, start. If it's in the line of business, do you have a customer? Does somebody want what you're trying to sell? And if not, I think you need to rethink it. But if there is an interest in what you want to sell, then great. Then package it in a way that somebody wants it and make it at a price that'll work and make some money out of it. So for me, I'm not sure what it is, but there's lots of opportunity. I won't stop flying and I won't stop my podcast, but there's a lot of things between those 2 points as well. And it does include being all over the world at the same time.
No, you're right.
Yeah, it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Please keep your train of thought. Sorry, I feel I'm talking too much.
No, I love it. It's very interesting.